Thanks, Goddess. Thank you so much for being here with me in my vibration, and thank you for being in alignment with me. So, before we get started, very quickly, I want to share a quote from you. A quote with you from a book called Women Who Run with Wolves. And it says stories enable us to understand the need for and the ways to raise a submerged archetype. And it's by the author Clarissa Pinkola Estes. Now, this book is very popular. And in this part of the book, she's talking about the importance of us telling stories of victory and passing down those stories because the submerged archetype woman that she's talking about is the wild woman, the woman that's suppressed in pretty much every woman, the woman that's scared to speak up, the woman that has the fear of being seen and the fear of being heard. She's talking about waking up that woman, waking up the sleeping goddess, and us telling stories of how we awakened the sleeping goddess and how we got over certain trials and tribulations and traumas that we went through in our life, and we fought through hell to get out of it, and we change our lives completely. That is what wakes up the other women. So with that being said, I'm getting ready to show you the 9-step confidence speakers roadmap. But before I do that, I want to tell you a little bit about me, if that's okay. I think it makes sense for me to tell you about me, because why would you even listen to me, right? If I don't tell you a little bit about my background and how I even got here. Why did I even want to create this confidence speakers roadmap? So my name is Dr. Kamisha. I'm a metaphysical psychologist, and I've been teaching metaphysics mainly to women, on social media, but my classes are geared towards women since about 2016. Okay. And so what I realized from there, I quit my job in 2018 and I started teaching a digital course, and I started also traveling and speaking and teaching a class called Self-Realization of a Goddess. I still do teach it, I still do offer it. However, what I realized from teaching it and offering it over the past 8 years, 2018, no, 6 years I started teaching it. What I realized was that when women would get to the end of it, they would have this full aha self-realization that they really were like a creator. Now, sometimes it didn't take for them to get all the way to the end of it, because you learning through it's 12 steps. You learning through every single step. But where they would have a hard time at is with them trying to understand why they were attracting the relationships that they were attracting. Most of the women who enrolled in that course, they were having an issue with the certain type of men. So if that's you, holla at me. But anyway, when they got to the end of it and they realized that they were really a goddess and they were creating their reality, two things happened. Number one, they wanted to go tell somebody else. They wanted to create their own self-love course, self-love book. They wanted to host events. They wanted to do all the things that I was doing, right? And so that is what gave me the idea to start teaching women how to get paid to speak. But the other problem that happened there was that they started wondering, like, well, who am I now? Because they had been under the spell of mainly religion for so long that they didn't even know, like, okay, now that I know that I'm a creator, who am I? What do I even want to create? And so that's another reason why I started creating this other course for getting paid to speak. So what happened was, when I realized that women wanted to host their own events and stuff like that, I created another course called Painful to Profitable. Okay, that's separate from what I'm getting ready to talk about here today, but it's together with it because they all go together. But in Painful to Profitable, you walk right into, this is how you build a business so that you can start getting booked to speak, paid to speak, hosting events all over the country, sponsored events, by the way. And when I say getting paid to speak, I'm not only talking about being on a stage, y'all. I'm talking about doing digital courses, having a membership, one-on-one mentoring. Okay, anytime you're opening your mouth and somebody wants your undivided attention and they want your opinion and they want your perspective, you should be getting compensated for that. That is what I mean when I say getting paid to speak. Okay, speaking on a stage, that's the creme de la crop. But there's other parts that you can still do where you're still getting paid to speak, right? And so that part, the Painful to Profitable mentorship, you step right into that. You step right into the steps of doing all the things that I just named. But what happens is, and what did happen was, women still didn't have the confidence. I have women in my mentorship program right now that paid for it, maybe watched like 1 or 2 videos, and they might have came to like a couple of our coaching calls, but they never finished it. And I know that it's embedded in them not really having the confidence to do what they claim they want to do. So here we are today with the Confident Speakers Roadmap. I realized that women needed this confidence desperately. I needed to have an in-between part that after they realized they were a goddess to, oh, I want to get paid to speak, they still needed to increase their confidence, because just because you realize that you're a goddess and that you're a creator, it doesn't mean that you're walking all the way in it. It means that you know it, you're aware of it, but you haven't fully applied it, because to walk completely in your goddess energy means that you are living the life that you desire. You've created the life that you desire to live in. So if you are over there like, I'm still stuck in this job, I'm still stuck in this relationship, I'm still stuck in this whatever mentality, then I'm not saying that you're not a goddess, because you are. You're still like, you're not fully all the way in the application stage of it, because you haven't fully stepped all the way in it. And that's okay. You still need the confidence to step all the way in it and do what you really desire to do. Now, with that being said, before I flip the screen around and actually show you the map, I want you to know that I am going to be hosting one part of this map, which is how to pick the right topics, okay? Which is how to monetize your voice and how to narrow down your speaking topics so that you can speak from the heart authentically. And that is what gives you the confidence as well, because you're speaking from the heart authentically and you're picking topics that people actually pay for, okay? Because you don't just want to be pulling topics out of your butt. I made a video talking about that on TikTok. So that class is only going to be $8.88. Okay. I highly encourage you to go ahead on and sign up for that. The button is right below this. It's on August the 21st. It will be a live class. Replays will be sent out if you're not able to make it. But I wanted you to know that I did pull a small part of this whole roadmap out to show you that this is one of the main problems that people struggle with, is choosing the right speaking topics. Okay, so let me go ahead on and share my screen and let's get into this. So I want you to remember that this is 9 steps of this roadmap, which is you building the confidence to get paid to speak, to the point where at the end of it, you host your own virtual event and get paid from that. Now, if you are way more advanced than this and you're looking at this like, girl, I don't need no confidence, I already know, I don't need this part, then you need to step right into my other program, which is the Painful to Profitable program. Just shoot me a DM or, send me a message or whatever, respond to this email, let me know that you're interested in that program. But I really made this for people that need to build up their confidence, okay? So step 1 to this is basically picking up where you would have left off if you would have took the Self-Realization of a Goddess course, which means that you fully realize that you really are a goddess and you're a creator. And now you have all this freedom to be whoever you want to be and to create whatever you want to create. But what happens here is that, well, first of all, the objective of this first part is that, yeah, you realize that you have all this freedom to choose and to be whoever you want to be. But the problem is that you have a lot of mental distractions that's going to stop you from even like fully walking in that. Like you got the kids, you got school, you got your job, you got your boss, you got a husband or a wife, you got a mate, you got to take care of the house. You just got all these mental distractions that's telling you that, yeah, I'm free, but I'm not, because I got all of this stuff. So the solution here is that you need to practice a lot of mindfulness, a lot of meditation, and just there's a lot of metaphysical tools that you can do that helps you remove some of that chaos, okay, and remove some of that just all the mental distractions. Some of the problem is you putting other people before you. Women have a tendency to do that, and that's a topic for a whole nother video. But That is what you need to work on there. Like basically putting yourself first so that you can see it clearly, so that you can clearly see that I am free right now. Right now, you're probably saying it, but you haven't made a decision like to actually do something drastic enough that says that I'm really free, like quitting your job, like leaving a toxic relationship, like I don't know, getting up and moving to a whole nother state, right? Those are three big things that represent you making like wild choices that people will look at you like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? I want you to remove a lot of the blockage that's there. So that would be your first step. Now, what happens is for every new level, there's a new devil. So it's going to, when you do realize that you have all this freedom and freedom to speak about anything that you want to speak about, the new devil is going to be revealed, and it's going to be you realizing that you have too many things that you could speak about. This is where a lot of times where women will say that, oh, you know, Rev or Doc or Kamisha, I have so many things that I could speak about. And I have to stop them and say, it doesn't matter that you have all these topics that you would speak about. Which one will people pay for? And that's what step 2 is about. Okay, that's the reason why, again, I'm going to do the Monetize Your Voice class on August the 21st. That's going to help you narrow down your speaking topics. So the objective of this second step is for you to, yes, use your imagination to determine what you need to speak about. But the problem that's going to happen here is that you're going to be overwhelmed with the choices. And so you need to learn how to actually narrow down your speaking topics. You need to learn how to go through your life and figure out what you can authentically speak about from the heart, where you really transformed yourself. Because sometimes people will say that they went through this great transformation. And my question is it, number one, is it seeable to the general public to the point where they will raise their hand and ask, how did you do that? How did you go from this to that? Because that is where people will pay. When they see a drastic change and they want to ask you how. If you got a lot of people asking you, how did you do that? Then you already have a topic. You already have a topic. You just need to validate it in the 3D world, which is another thing that I teach in that second part. And in that second part is how to validate it to make sure that even though people might be asking you how, will they actually pay for it? Okay. And so then, like I said, there's a new level for there's a new devil for every level. What that reveals is when you realize that, okay, you picked your speaking topic, right? And now what happens is you realize, oh shoot, I gotta actually switch my damn identity. I gotta switch my identity to telling myself that I'm a paid speaker and I'm an expert in this particular subject. This is all the foundation for you building up the confidence, because trust me, when you run up against that devil that's going to try to tell you that no, you're not an expert in that. I don't care what you went through. You're not an expert in that. So what happens is in step 3, you need to start doing a lot of manifestation rituals. That's why step 3 is called Word Magic Mastery. This is where you're going to learn how to write things into your reality. I called it the Seshet method because Seshet is the goddess. She's an Egyptian goddess of writing. She's the only goddess in Egypt that is seen writing on the wall. A lot of them might carry pens and stuff like that, but she's the only one that's actually seen writing. And so I'm going to teach you some methods that I used in my own journey that helped me manifest speaking opportunities. Okay, so that's part 3. Now, again, another devil is going to come up when you get here, and you're going to realize that when you start doing all these manifestation rituals, that you might have some childhood issues that's coming to the surface, that's making you feel like, are these things that I'm writing about myself really true? Am I really an expert in this? And blah, 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 blah. And you're going to realize that these things are stemmed from childhood. And then that's going to lead you to understanding that there's an imposter syndrome that needs to be subdued in here. There's an imposter syndrome, because imposter syndrome really goes deep into childhood trauma. The childhood trauma of not being heard, not being seen, not being affirmed, not being spoken to with value, right? So then you start dealing with your lack of self-worth. Again, this is going to tie into this whole thing where we're talking about this foundation of building your confidence, because if you want to get paid to speak, that means that when people want to talk to you, there's a charge. They want a one-on-one consultant with you or consult with you, you need to have the confidence to say, here go my bill for that. And I'm charging X amount of dollars for that. You want to build a mentorship, a $2,000, $3,000, at least $1,000 mentorship, then you need to have the confidence to ask for those type of numbers. So the imposter syndrome kicks in here, or you realizing that you have this the childhood trauma that needs to be worked on, and that's where the imposter syndrome is. So step 4 is you destroying the imposter, or at least subduing the imposter. Okay, you're getting the tools that you need in order to subdue the imposter. So I call this step part 4, which is Sekhmet's path. Sekhmet is another Egyptian goddess, and she is known for being the destroyer. She will destroy anything that she needs to in order to achieve her achieve her accomplishments, or the assignment that she was given by Ra. Okay, Ra being the son, which was her father. So we need to embody these different goddesses. Okay, that's why I incorporated multiple goddesses into this, because it's called Empower Your Goddess Voice. So we need to embody the archetypes of these different goddesses, and Sekhmet is one of them. That's about destroying the imposter. Okay, so you need to work on, for that step, even if you don't take my whole mentorship program, you know that you need to work on destroying imposter syndrome. Okay, so you can look up stuff for doing that. You can look up journals. I actually have a class, a whole separate class. It's like if you go on my link in bio and you click the metaphysical classes in the drop down, I believe there's a class there on destroying the imposter syndrome, and it also has like a PDF guide to it. Okay, but anyway, so what happens here is it's going to reveal something else. You're going to realize that you need to forgive people, right? Mainly your mother and father, or circumstances that you went through as a child, because you're going to need to release this in order for you to step into the new you. You have to release the old you, and releasing and letting go of the old you requires you to forgive. That's what forgive means. It really means to let go. Okay, it's to create a new story. So in order for you to, that part 3 and part 4, where you're starting to do manifestation activities, where you're talking to yourself and you're visualizing and you're doing affirmations and you're writing things down, so that you're not gaslighting yourself and starting to feel like, what is this even for? You need to destroy the imposter. Okay, so those two go together. So now that you have destroyed the imposter, you walk into step 5, which is you actually doing a farewell ritual, saying goodbye to the people that have hurt you. And when I say saying goodbye, hey, that might mean literally saying goodbye. Again, if you want to manifest a reality where you are getting paid to speak and booked to speak, trust me, you're going to start manifesting people that's going to be looking at you like, who you think you are? You already the black sheep of the family too? Oh, you an expert in this now? Oh, you teaching other people now? You need to do a goodbye ritual, okay? You might need to make a list of people that you need to say goodbye to, because if they are not in your in the most healthiest vibration for you, this is including everybody, even mates. Okay, mates. Oh my God, that's a whole nother part. I'll be talking about that in the course though, because sometimes your mate is playing the biggest role in holding you back. But anyway, let's get back to, you're going to do a farewell ritual. I ain't telling you to go cutting everybody off, but I'm definitely telling you that you're going to need to say goodbye to certain mentalities, certain behaviors, so that you can shift your identity into a paid speaker. Okay, so now what's going to happen here is you're going to realize, oh shoot, I've been doing all of this healing work and building up my confidence and doing all these manifestation rituals. How about I actually need to start speaking? This is where the rubber actually meets the road. Now, inside of the course, if you were to take the course, I will be giving you activities that you will be physically doing. Yes, you're going to be making posts on social media. Yes, you're going to be making videos. You're going to actually be doing stuff. This is not a course where you're going to just be sitting up there listening to me talk. You're going to be showing up every week and listening to me talk. I mean, you are, but you got to have homework. You have to do, being a goddess we in application mode, okay? If you look on the left-hand side of the screen, you'll see the first part is the awakening. The second part is the actual activation. The third part is the application. You are going to be doing it. And if you're not going to do it, it ain't no point in you even signing up for it. Okay, because I want you to get a result. So let's talk about what happens in step 6. Okay, because in step 6, this is where you're going to start looking for the skills or gaining the public speaking skills that you need. So skills like using your body language. Okay, for example, like using your tone of voice, figuring out what is your unique way of delivering a message. What is your uniqueness? So I'll give you an example. For me, what helped me grow my social media following and got me when people was flying me in and paying for my hotels and my location and even selling tickets for me, right? Is because I have a very unique way of teaching metaphysics. I use what I call word magic. You may have seen me do it on some of my videos where I'm breaking down words and I'm reading symbols, right? So I have a very unique way of speaking and teaching. You have to find your unique way. And it doesn't have to be in the way that you speak. It could be in your body language. It could be in your tone of voice. So many people say that they don't like their voice, but do you understand that there's somebody that's waiting for your voice? You might have a raspy voice. I remember I used to say all the time, I didn't like my voice because I had a raspy voice. So many people would tell me that they love my voice. As a matter of fact, there's so many people that would tell me when they would watch my YouTube videos that it would shake and wake them up because I spoke with such like almost a harshness. I don't know if I still even have that now because I've changed into a completely different character, but what I want you to understand is that this is where your goddess voice gets activated and you start learning, or you need to start learning, what is your unique voice? What is your unique tone when you raise your voice, when you speak lower, where the way you enunciate your words? Maybe you might have a heavy accent, right? And people might laugh at you, but that might be the thing that makes you stand out. You just never know. This is where this part gets activated at, okay? So once you do this, okay, then you're going to, when I say this, I'm talking about activating your goddess voice and really studying yourself and realizing your uniqueness, your unique body language, your unique tone, even the way you dress and the way you show up on camera. You will be amazed at the things that get people attention when you're speaking. It's not all about what's coming out of your mouth. I promise you, it's not. They will be attracted to you because they like the way you dress. People would tell me that too, that they love my some of my outfits and stuff. And I feel like I need a damn stylist, to be honest with you. But my point here is that this part is about studying your own speaking style. Okay. That's step 6. Now, as you get out there and you start speaking and you start making videos and you start tweaking your body language and the way that you speak, and you find your uniqueness and how you deliver your message, how is it going to spread? Right? You're going to have the people that come on your post and comment and like and share, but you need to build a sisterhood network. You need a network of women that are really, really rooting for you and really, really clapping for you in authenticity. So I have built something called Black Fire Nation Alumni. These are all my students who came through when I launched my first Self-Realization of a Goddess course. They went through a whole 12-week program with the 13th class bonus was them understanding their name and their astrology chart. And then they graduate and they get a certificate and they get a crown and they become part of Black Fire Nation Alumni. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm taking this class, the Confident Speakers Roadmap, and I'm turning it into the new Black Fire Nation alumni. Now, why am I telling you this? Because if you did decide to sign up for this 9-week program, you're going to automatically become part of my speakers network. I'm building something called an an alien speakers network. That's why I said I'm looking for women who are not afraid to talk about the mystical things, the esoteric things, the goddess energy. She is still being hidden. When I talk to women who say that they want to get paid to speak and book to speak, especially on Facebook, most of them are still under the spell of religion. A lot of them are still under the spell of religion. And so now I said, I want to build a network of women who are wide the F awake. Okay. And so what I'm saying to you is that I'm not saying that for you to be part of mine. I'm just telling you that if you did decide to do this, you will be part of mine, which means that when I go to host my own events, I will have a network of women to pull in when I want to bring in co-speakers, because I do bring other speakers into my event. As a matter of fact, I just had an event in May and I brought in a speaker. And then when I did the Command Your Throne conference in 2022, I brought in 2 speakers. So I'm really getting my feet wet into bringing in other speakers. But what I'm saying to you is that I'm building that network of alien speakers so that I will be able to pull from wherever I need to pull from. Okay. But you need to also build your network, not necessarily so that you can build a network of speakers, but so that you have women that root for you. So when I mentioned the Black Fire Nation alumni, these are women who they basically almost sell my course for me. They go out and they tell other people about how great the Self-Realization of a Goddess course is, or the class that they took. They make posts all the time. Or anytime I make a post, especially on Facebook, if I make a post about the Self-Realization of a Goddess class, at least 2 or 3 people gonna come on there and say, y'all better sign up for this. And usually they are alumni. If I go live and I'm talking about it, they're gonna comment on there and say, y'all better sign up for this. The class is bomb, blah, 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 blah. That's what you need. Okay. So in that part on number 7 is you need to start doing more networking activities and reaching out to other women and looking for women that you can collaborate with, because that's really what it is. It's collaboration. Which I feel like we as women, we struggle here sometimes. We do better than men though in some aspect, because they don't be getting together to watch football. That's what they do. Anyway, we ain't come on here to talk about men. What I'm saying is that's what you will be doing here on step 7 is starting to collaborate, reach out to other women and start building your network. And so in that part, I will be teaching you how to do that. So the next thing that's happening here is you're going to build your network, but then you're like, well, where the freak is the money at, right? Right? You've been doing all this speaking, making all these reels and videos, and you got your whole YouTube channel going or whatever. Where is the money at? Well, you need to create an actual annual strategy. This is where a lot of people drop the ball at, because they will be so sporadic in, oh, I'm doing a moon ritual. I'm doing a vision board party. I'm doing I don't know. Y'all know, oh, we're doing a healing circle, and it will be very sporadic and here and there with absolutely no structure to it. It's kind of like when they just feel like doing it. That is no, you're becoming an actual 100% paid speaker. Therefore, you need to have a whole annual strategy already mapped out. And when I tell you that, I got the number 60,000 there. And when I tell you that, when I stopped teaching, well, took a fall back from teaching Self-Realization of a Goddess and crumbled my own annual strategy, my finances took a big old hit. But it was because I had a structure in place, and then I took it down to start adding in all these other pieces. But what I'm telling you is that you need an annual strategy. And so what I show you in this part 8 is how to generate about $5,000 a month from you speaking. Now, mind you, when I say speaking, I'm not only talking about you being on stage. If you're sitting around waiting to get paid to speak, to wait for somebody to invite you to a stage, to give you a microphone, you're going to be waiting a long time. You need to build up your own platform. That is my suggestion and my experience. You need to, after I built up my own platform and people saw me going from this city to that city to this class to that class, that's when they start saying, hey, can you come to my city? And then I would say, sure, I will come to your city. Wherever I am supported at, I will come to that city. How can you support this? And that is how I started getting sponsored events, because people already saw me traveling and doing different events all over the country. And the more I put it out there, the more they wanted me to come to their city. But my point here is that for you to make the money annually, you should be doing more than just doing speaking events. You should be doing a mentorship program. You should be doing one-on-one consultations. You should be doing memberships like a Patreon, or what they call it, Mighty Networks, or you need to do other things. Anytime you open your mouth and somebody wants to hear you talk, it should be a fee for that. Okay? So you need to develop some type of annual strategy. So if you're like, well, how do I learn how to do that if I don't come to your class? I actually have on my YouTube channel, I have a whole YouTube video on there where I break down the $5,000 a month strategy. But of course, in the class, you'll be getting more details. So, okay, that all leads to finally, we're at the throne now, okay? We have our strategy in place. We've learned how to build our network. We done got over all of our childhood wounds, shenanigans. We done said bye to the people we need to say bye to. We done investigated ourselves to figure out our own unique teaching or speaking style and all that. We are approaching the throne. That's what we're going to do. We're going to launch our own virtual event. When people ask me like, well, how do you get paid to speak? How do you wind up on stage? You know how I did it? First, I was doing online events. I did a couple of in-person events too, but mostly because I was doing virtual classes, those same women that was taking my virtual class, I developed a sisterhood network with them, and they were the ones that were pushing me out because they had such a drastic change in the virtual classes that I was doing that I built a tight network, and they started recommending me and always writing. I got a gazillion testimonials for Self-Realization of a Goddess. So this is what I'm telling you, why I'm telling you that the best place to start at before you even get for an in-person event is for you to start doing virtual events. You should be doing a virtual event every month. That's part of your annual speaking strategy. Okay. And so in part 9, you will be learning how to launch your first, well, maybe it's not your first, but I'm calling it your first annual event. Where are you going to get paid? Okay. So think about this, like if you were to sign up for this whole course that I'm going to be launching in October, by the way, I'm already showing you how you're going to get your money back, because at the end of it, you're going to host a virtual event. You're going to host your first one, but I'm going to tell you that it needs to be a series. It needs to be a part 1, 2, 3, at least 3 parts, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So now from there, those are your 9 steps. You got the roadmap. You know what to do. But I'm telling you that in my program, after we finish this, we're going to Aruba. We're going to celebrate in Aruba, 5 days in Aruba, where I'm hosting a retreat where you're going to do more confidence speaking, and we'll even do a mock public speaking event there. On top of all the fun stuff we'll be doing, we'll go snorkeling, we'll do go see Aruba. What do they call it? Go on an Aruba tour, right? But what I'm saying is we're going to do all the fun things, but there are also going to be some confidence building networks, so that by the time you come back, which this is all going to happen in February of 2025. That's when the Aruba trip is happening. By the time you come back, you're going to be in beast mode. Well, ain't nobody going to be able to tell you nothing. Okay, you're going to be all the way in your goddess energy. What? Job who? Okay, I'm not telling you to go ahead on and quit your job, but That's for the painful to profitable mentorship when you really, really, really ready. That's the next step after this one. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead on and wrap this up. I feel like I've been talking way too long. We're 34 minutes in. And so I want you to know that these 9 steps, you can, of course, my love, my dear, my goddess, you can do them all on your own, or you can do them with me. You can realize that you are free on your own. You can investigate your own divine DNA on your own and figure out what your speaking topics are. You can do your own manifestation rituals. You can destroy the imposter. You can say bye to who you need to say bye to. You can investigate your own speaking quirks and speaking abilities and your own body language and all of that. You can go out and network with other sisters and build your platforms like that and approach them and collaborate with them. You can do that on your own. You can figure out how to make $60,000 a year or at least $5,000 a month. All you got to do is do the math to break down how much do you need to make doing a speaking engagement, a virtual speaking engagement. How much are you going to charge for one-on-one mentorships? How much are you going to charge for maybe a membership? Once you watch the YouTube video, if you do want it, you're going to have the thing right there, right? You're going to have the template right there, and then hosting your own virtual event. So you have the steps, okay? But if you want my help, the first thing I want you to do is I want you to sign up for the class that I got coming up on August the 21st, so that you can just at least get some of part 2, okay? You're going to get a little bit of part 2 on picking your speaking topics. And then you can decide if you want to work with me from there, if you want to do the whole thing from there. Okay, I figured we would start off nice and slow. Like I said, that class is only $8.88. So let me go ahead and stop running my mouth and show my face. Want to let you know that I'm rooting for you no matter what you decide to do. I'm rooting for you. I want you to win. I want more women to awaken. And I know that they want to, because I have almost 600 students that came through my Self-Realization of a Goddess course. And I don't know how many times I heard that I want to create my own course. I want to create my own mentorship. I want to start hosting my own events. I heard it over and over and over again. And many of those women do not go on to do it because they don't have the confidence. So I'm rooting for you. I say that in love and peace. Enjoy the rest of your day and go out there and be great. Bye-bye.